Alrighty. Hey guys, this is Keegan. I'm a developer on Eco with Strange Loop Games, and today I'm going to be showing off some of the new building features in 9.0. Building is something that has always been close to my heart. When I was a kid I played with Legos, and I've pretty much throughout my time in SLG become sort of the block czar of Eco. I tend to take care of everything related to all the different building blocks in the game, and so this is some nice, really exciting updates we have for 9.0, and of course there will be a lot more to follow. But let's just dive right into some stuff here. I noticed in the chat already one of the things was mentioned is close to my heart, and we've already talked about, which is pipes going through walls, and that's totally something that we really want to take care of at some point. It's probably not going to be in 9.0 as far as a really elegant solution for that, but we are absolutely going to take care of that. So yeah, I just need to get confirmation. Oh yeah, that's pretty good confirmation. Somebody said standing desk, so I assume everyone can see and hear me just fine. I'm just going to check in chat to make sure. Confirm you can hear me. Cool. All right, got confirmation, so I will dive in. Yeah, so in 9.0, this is actually also a title screen scene that I've been working on for the new patch. So this is a big building scene where I got to go in and just build a ton of buildings and test out all these new updates to the builders that we've been doing. So yeah, I've got a couple large stockpiles here. We've also got these new large lumber stockpiles in 9.0 that can carry a ton of stuff. And basically the two big new categories of building materials we worked on in 9.0 is ashlar stone and composite lumber. So they are basically taking the raw stone and rock that you find throughout the world in Eco, and all the different raw types of wood that you can get from all the different tree species. And in 9.0 they've been broken down into different types of materials. So we got different logs, different rock, and you process those into advanced building materials that you can do a lot with through these craft tables, the new advanced carpentry table, the new advanced masonry table, and basically building itself has been given some really big upgrades that I'll be showing off. So another block that we've upgraded is Asphalt. So with Asphalt now we have different forms like you do for other builders. You can build these different road markings and things using the forms. So this little gap in the road exists, so let's fix that up real quick. So that's not going to work out because I gotta place this stuff down. So basically the new menu you can see here shows a ton of form lists, forms listed out for asphalt concrete that you can build, and this allows you to select between different forms for your building material. This is a feature that existed in previous patches in Eco, of course, but it's been massively expanded here in 9.0. We refactored the UI and the UX so that we'll be able to put tons and tons of different forms in these big lists for you to select from. This is all to give the players way more options while building. So like if I click this cube, I'm just placing the regular cube block here, and then the other big thing here that you may have already seen on the screen is this fill type selector, and this is even a bigger game changer as far as building itself goes. This allows you to select the different shape that you're going to build with, rather than just building with a point, which is all that we had before, like this, where you're building block by block. You can actually line up shapes to fill in with blocks. So right now I'm building points, but say I want to build a line of blocks, I can do that now with the line fill type. So to continue this white line here, I can now select the white line form and place 3 blocks at once in a line there. And so it shows you if you don't have enough materials that you're holding to fill out the shape that you're trying to build. It says need 2 more blocks, so I need to get some more asphalt concrete here from the stockpile, which I just did by clicking on it. And now I can place that down. We can, oh yeah, so this is basically, I'm gonna have to get rid of this reinforced concrete here in order to finish off our little road going to the stockpile. And yeah. Oh, the top bar you guys are saying might be covering up some of the form selection. I'll check that when I do this again. Oh yeah, the thing you're missing is just the little hammer icon and then the title that tells you the form you've got selected's name, which is not a huge deal. Yep. We'll finish this guy off. Place that line. And I can just fill this in with cubes. So, one of the cool things that we've been working on as well is the lighting, and this shows off some of the new lighting that we've got that I just have been diving into this week actually. And yeah, it's been nice to get in there and do some updates because it definitely needed it. We improved fog. The GI, if you're familiar with playing the game, actually will allow you to use the lower settings without getting too bright now. Notice that you can barely see it changing in the background. So you can set it to low, get a good performance upgrade, but still get GI, which is really nice. So, there's my little truck. Drive down the street. I was kind of thinking, my first little building project with the new materials, we could construct a little entrance way to a building that's already been built but doesn't really have anything on the inside. So I'm just going to ignore the traffic laws and bust through that stoplight. And this is the building, and it doesn't really have a front door from the street level, so that's what I'm thinking we can add real quick. So, probably easiest in regular building to get a stockpile going to be putting materials into and out of. I think for this stream, because I'm just doing it casually to show you some of the new features, I'm just going to use the dev tool, and this will also show you guys how with these new fill types, building as an admin has been, radically improved by this patch, because with the dev tools and sort of like our creative mode, you can basically place as many blocks as you want using those shapes, which means you can construct massive things way faster than you ever could before in the game. So that's been a really nice thing to do, to have, and for people to work with and mess around with, and I'm excited to see what people build with it in 9.0. So I can just go. So I do have a bunch of materials handily in this truck though that I could always just pick from. So we've got our ashlar limestone. So as you can see, lots of the stuff is limestone around here, and this building has some limestone and some sandstone. Yeah, limestone and eco, we've kind of associated it with the beaches and grasslands. So of course, in real life, it's formed out of the shells of tiny animals. So, if we wanted to make a little platform going over here, I can show, you can use this floor fill type, and actually do. So that was. With this, you can place it as basically a rectangle on the ground. But I will keep going like this for now. And just make a kind of new little entrance way. Probably want some railings. What we can do is use the fence form, the line. Get one of those. And maybe put a little something on top of there. You could So one of the things that we added in 9.02 is some more decorative objects. We're hoping to add lots and lots of decorative objects you can use to decorate your buildings, statues and things like that. We really want everything to be coming from materials in the ecosystem. So one of the fun things we've added is some statues. And these also act as little previews for other things that we're adding to the game, because of course we wouldn't want to add a statue of an animal to the game, of an animal that's not in the game. So this owl statue might suggest something to you about what we've been working on adding. But yeah. Alright, we've got a nice little entranceway into this room now. There's not really any windows in here. So maybe what we want to do is see if we can add a few windows. Well, this is kind of like a textural building exterior, but we can add some windows here. And let's make it daytime, because it's getting a little bit dark at night. But let's see, let's make it 3 or 4 p.m., something like that. There we go, nice and bright out now in our little city. And you can notice one of the big new changes with the lighting is the auto exposure feature, which allows us to have things be a lot brighter everywhere, and you'll see the things that are overexposed, and then as you go outside it adjusts, which is, this is common. I mean, if you've been in gaming for a long time, you've seen this all over the place in like AAA games, but I think with the new setup in Eco, it really adds a very different feel to the game. Everything is much brighter and sort of sun-washed feeling, which I've been enjoying. We're going to keep working on it and tweaking it as we go, but definitely one of the big priorities with it was to ensure that people are able to play the game in terms of like playability and brightness, no matter what time of day it is. We really didn't want that to be a hassle if you were new to the game and you're playing at night, and we want you to be able to work on your house at night as well and not have that be something that stops you from playing easily. So that was the priority for now. In the future we might look at things like darker nights and caves requiring light sources. So I built that little entranceway into this house now, and I'm going to go through this little park. Actually, yeah, go through this little park. I'm kind of going the anticlimactic way up to this building since I made this huge walkway up to it. But this is a big old government building that I made with the new Asphalt Limestone set. Shows off a lot of the different stuff and more of the statues we have here. Basically, with this new material, I can show you now all the different kinds of forms that we can add. Here's some new fountains that Flo made, and so when I press F on this set, you see a good deal of forms over here on the top left. We've got sort of basic forms, thin forms that kind of connect like walls, slopes. There's a whole category of things that's been interesting to figure out as we go along. So we have a lot of different ways for players to build slopes and also roofs. The philosophy that we've taken with the new blocks and forms that we've been building is we really want to give players as much control as is possible. So we've broken some of the different forms that previously were kind of automatic into their component pieces that you can control manually. So like these roofs, you can, let me switch my point. You can place the individual pieces and you can rotate them manually to get really whatever you want. And this just ensures that you're able to get the exact thing you're looking to build. But we still use the automatic rule stuff for a lot of fun stuff, and to be able to do some complicated things that would just be a hassle to put down manually. So it's always an interesting balance, trying to balance between automatic things and manual things. But we've definitely switched to a philosophy of really being manual where possible for building going forward. And I think people will appreciate that, who want to really take advantage of things to build things that we couldn't have anticipated or expected. So yeah, let's see here. Oh yeah, I should show you this cool thing. Showing off the slopes a bit, I made this like representation of a tree using different sloped blocks. This is like granite and shale, ashlar granite and shale. One of the fun things is with the statues and with the underslope block, you can make full-on tympanums in your architecture. You can make like flying buttresses, all sorts of stuff. But yeah, these are the underslope blocks you can see here. So you can find those and basically build any kind of diagonal structure like that you want to. With the new, a lot of the new stuff we've been making, a lot of the new materials, we've been really starting to upgrade the materials in Eco as far as like their texture components and how they're built. The engine, finally, we're starting to get some nice things like this metal roof for each of the different composite lumber and ashlar stone sets that merges into each one of those and has its own, actually metal look. So that's starting to get nice. We're starting to get lots of nice variation in the materials. And yeah, here's a fun little tympanum I made with 2 wolf statues. And these are like brace blocks. So this is actually like constructed out of blocks here. This little like tree statue that I made. So we're really hoping to add lots of interesting little things that players can just come up with really unique ways of combining and invent their own sort of structures and things like that. We're really excited to see what people will make. You can do all sorts of things with this. One of the cool parts of the ashlar set is definitely like these the lower sloped roofs that lets you do roofs with a slope of 1/4. I did these mostly so that you could have nice looking pediments like this, but this is the same slope as the road slope, 1/4. You can see like with the asphalt, you get the same kind of block structure going on between those. So that's actually somewhat universal for different material types. And I am definitely looking at adding 1/2 slopes as well, because I know those would help a lot with proportional slopes on buildings like this one. I think would look better as a 1/2 as opposed to a 1/1 slope. So yeah, we'll be continually. This is interesting. Kind of looks like an oculus or something. You could put like a window in here and have some light shining through. Yeah, you get the idea. You can do all sorts of fun stuff. So yeah, let's see. What else do I want to show off here? Oh yeah, more of the lumber stuff would be good. This is the greatest time of day. So like these composite lumbers are really intended to sort of be like architecture in the real world, which really tries to celebrate the materials or celebrate the resources that materials come from. So a little bit later. So each one of these different colors of wood it's not just a different color, it's also a different texture, and they're all from different species of trees. So this one's from composite oak, and the composite lumber set is like an advanced wood building set that uses plastics as well to seal things and to structurally reinforce things. So it's got shiny bits, and really hopefully will allow you to build modern looking buildings that still highlight the sort of the natural sources of the materials you're using. So like here's a redwood tree. And if I give myself some composite redwood lumber, I can build things that really look more like they were built out of that wood, than anything else, and you can tell where it came from. So that's really the whole way that our building system is paying attention to things in a uniquely eco way, trying to really visualize all the places where things come from in the real world and in the game. So yeah, let's see. Maybe I'll look and see if there's some good questions to answer. So as you can see, this is the form list for composite lumber, and it's pretty similar, pretty much the same as ashlar stone. And we do want the materials to have, that are of the same tier, to have like a roughly comparable amount of forms, and you want to have all the basic ones that you would want, especially for an end game material like these ones. They should have everything you would want from them. But we're definitely going to also be adding forms that are unique per material to the different material sets, because some things just make sense to build with some materials that might not with others. And we also are excited to add things that are more decorative. Like these braces are an example where we're using them, even though they're in both sets, but we're using them to do sort of different things. Like they're the same kind of shapes, but they look pretty different based on what material they are. So you can really get some unique stuff going on based on not only the form but the material that's using the form. Yeah. Let's see. Questions. Somebody's asking what's the difference between form box 2 and box 3. That's a good question. So these lists of this fill type list that we have, we haven't super refined this yet. This is kind of all the different options we thought of trying at first. So we're just going to give them all from the start in 9.0. As we go, we'll probably refine which of these you unlock as you get different hammers, better hammers. And we may also add new ones that work better, remove ones that don't work quite as well. But these, like the box 2 point, the idea with that is that you place 2 points in order to define the box. So if I put a point, building on this diagonal area is not the greatest, but so I just like define 2 points to build that box. But with the 3 point, that allows you to define one for the starting place, one for the ending kind of bottom dimensions, and then now I can place a third to determine the height. And using this one, it actually tends to be easier to specifically control the height of the thing you're building, because it's not trying to detect the bottom width at the same time. And with the rectangle is similar to that. And the wall is definitely useful. The 3-point wall is quite useful for building walls that are a specific height all at once. So that's that question. And so ramps are an option for materials. Will they be counted as a road type? So specifically, roads will still be their own thing. I mean, we're not going to like slow the vehicle down physically, I think, on something like an ashlar stone pediment block, but definitely the bonuses will be associated with things that are specifically road type blocks, like the asphalt concrete. It's just a better road surface that should be incentivized to use compared to like ashlar stone. But there won't be a penalty for like driving on it. You should still be able to, you can drive on whatever physical surface you can drive on. So let's see. I do see YouTube chat through Restream. Will you be updating creative mode to include Smite and other commands you are using today? Yeah. So the stuff I'm using right now is just the dev tool, and that's basically just allows me to delete really quickly. And the big difference between the dev tool right now and the hammers is the ability to place as many blocks as you want, because the hammers are limited to 20 currently. This is a thing with building that we're absolutely going to be continuing to develop, and building with 9.0 is not the end game of building an eco. Basically, we have the intention of drastically revamping the crane in the game in order to make it into a tool that really allows you to build sort of like I am in this stream, where you're in an area and you pretty much have full control over where you are. Like, we're not sure if you're going to be flying around a limited area, but at the very least, we'll be using it to unlock being able to place down as many blocks as you like with the different fill types. And I think it's very likely that we'll be it'll be an interface where you are actually sort of flying around a limited area, just so that it gives you as much control as possible to be building as quickly as possible, because the limit should really be what you're taking from the environment, not your ability to realize the buildings. So yeah, that's kind of the end game goal with building an eco, and we're not getting there yet with 9.0, but we are adding a lot of the foundational steps towards that. So yeah. Let's see here. Roads, items, maybe I might check my other chat here. So also questions about boats, and yes, we are absolutely working on boats. They are not going to be in 9.0 as the whole new feature, but they are being worked on, and they absolutely will be part of Eco. Yeah, it's honestly been quite a long time, and we had some old, boat art, but we've got a whole lot of brand new stuff that we'll be showing you guys, which we're excited to do, but we're not ready to show that yet. Yeah, we're hard at work on 9.0. It's all down to polish and performance now, pretty much. We haven't been trying to cram new stuff in for a long time, so we really are just trying to get it to the point where, you're going to be able to see all the new stuff, and you won't be, hampered or disappointed by any changes in performance or anything like that. So we really want to just get it all polished up for you guys. But in the meantime, while we're doing that, the art team is definitely hard at work on content for the future as well, like boats. So yeah. Let's see here. Food recipes. I'm probably going to call it pretty soon, but I'll wait just a moment for any more things I can find here. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, there's somebody asking about what engine Eco is in. It is indeed in Unity. And I was going to show a little bit more behind the scenes thing. One thing I also like to communicate about building is that making these different forms, these are pretty simple to make. They're just different meshes, and especially when you're making a form that is just a rotatable form, something that doesn't have any smart logic to it, it's really not difficult to make these kinds of things in a 3D package. I use Maya LT, but Blender is an amazing 3D package that's completely free to anyone. And I would like to say that one thing that I'm really excited for is improved modding abilities, because I think once we get a few more things done as far as modding goes, you're going to be able to see people making their own forms for materials that already exist in Eco as mods that really, once you get the hang of as a modder, would not be hard to put together. I mean, I've kind of joked a lot that my full-time job could be making builders, because there's just so much different fun content you could add. So that's something that I'm going to be really excited when it gets a little bit more unlocked for modders to do, because once it does, it's actually really not hard to make new forms and things for the building blocks. So I think that's a area where eco building is really going to shine long term, is when modders are able to get their hands on more stuff like this more easily. So I think maybe I'll end on that optimistic note for the future. I hope all you guys are doing well out there. I know it's tough times, and yeah, I hope you're doing whatever you have to do to stay safe, and I wish you all the best. I think I will call it a stream. So yeah, you guys take care.